gifts, writing checks, no hanging around, no this, no that. You know, keep it simple.
I should get that way, but I don't.
I do, you know what?
Everybody has it. My wife and I are like, we buy it, yeah,
And,
kind of that we need, like, what's left there?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to see the Wyndham play USC on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
That should be a good one.
Yeah.
You got
Get
that,
to see Juju.
yeah, Juju
Yeah.
Wilcox or what's it?
Watkins, yeah.
Watkins,
She's awesome.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
So your project kind of wrapped up?
We're done.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah. Cause you're mostly a lot of road building? Or you guys-
Jeff's gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna contaminate you.
Still there.
Okay. Yeah, I got everything back in last, on the 13th.
Right.
That's all set. Xavier's ring right here.
Yep.
Follow him that close to you?
We push,
Oh,
we
yeah.
had one customer
You
who
do
gives us
any
a ton of
games, or-
business. He just put in it, so.
I go to the St. John's game every year in New York.
This weekend.
Yeah, this year we're actually going.
You good, Jeff?
In St. Paul.
Okay.
Weather time, man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of years it isn't that bad.
Right.
It's just, you know, you don't really know.
My wife, my son, depends, whoever.
Which one goes on?
Last weekend was also St. Which if you've ever been there, so we decided to bail.
It's a big day time going to the city. You know, for that late of a game, I have to get room, you know, so you're.
He didn't plan ahead, so like coming, so fast beat on the train.
But sometimes, you know, do a drive on.
Maybe in the city all day, drink, ready to party, just fun things like.
I'm not gonna do that. I just.
But yeah, St. John's game.
All right, I'd like to call the Inland Wetlands Watercourse Commission of December 18th, 2024 to order. First order of business is the attendance roll call. Stephen Molinelli, Chair, present. Russell Davenport, Vice Chair.
Present?
We have a vacancy for the secretarial position, but it is a vacancy on the board. Jeff Lippincott.
Present.
Frank Oliveri.
Present.
Gary Paganelli.
Present.
Jamie Giantano.
Present.
Matt Clausen.
Present.
And we have a second vacancy. I'd like to have approval for the minutes for the November meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 20th, 2024 meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Gary, all those in favor? Becomes unanimous. Thank you. Under agenda review, Jeff, anything?
Just, we need to have you vote on the proposed meeting schedule for 2025. I presented it to you last month.
Okay.
Just to give you a chance to check it against your calendars, but it's the regularly scheduled Wednesday.
You have it later in the agenda. Do you want to do it now or later?
Whatever you like.
Did everybody have a chance to look at the agenda? Is there anybody that has difficulty with the
No,
agenda?
I only have April that next year that I
Okay.
won't be able to.
If you know what you're doing in April next year, you're a good man. All right, is there a motion to accept the agenda schedule for next year?
I'll make a motion to accept the 2025 agenda as presented to us.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jamie, all those in favor of accepting? It's unanimous, thank you very much. Let me just mark that off. Jeff, anything else?
No, that was all.
Okay, no public hearings. Under old business, first item would be Wetlands number 24-2070. The application is John Sliney at 308 East Wakefield Boulevard. Good evening, John.
Evening, gentlemen.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to review Tom Grimaldi's?
I just got it. We did not much different than what we discussed. I was out there with
about your, Mr. Jackson? Did he have an opportunity?
He has not seen it. He has not seen this, as far, unless he was emailed a copy.
I did not email him a copy. I'm not sure if Tom did.
Yeah, it's-
I'd like to be sure that there's no disagreement, so I'm gonna ask for a continuance only because,
Well, I can give you a general disagreement to start with. With the fact that, when Tom was there and we spoke about, he spoke about ponding in the area. There's a walkway to the stairs, and there's a walkway also, goes over to the dock, whatever it's referred to as. Mr. Jackson and his wife, the engineer, both, as they took samples, did their digging, did their tests, so on and so forth, did state that there would be no ponding there. That soil has more than adequate, is more than adequate to ingest whatever water flows down there. Tom mentioned the fact that if you look at those said walkways, he said, if, and I'm saying if and exactly, interchangeable at this point. If they ran down, that, the walkway is, two and a half foot. If they ran down in a slope to the water, he would be concerned. Or to the steps, and then it may run over the steps and go over the height of the height of the water on the wall shows that, what was there, X amount of, I'm guessing right now, there was X amount of clearance between. Now, with Jackson's report that said all things were absorbable, no matter, in all conditions, I don't mind putting a planting. It's a nice idea. Don't mind putting a drain in. It's also a nice idea. But if it's not a necessary thing right now,
well, if you, I'm gonna go either way. If you don't mind, then we're gonna stand by, wait a minute.
okay.
If you don't mind, then we're gonna stand by Tom Grimaldi's conclusion and recommendations. If you do mind, I'd like Mr. Jackson and Mr. Grimaldi to get together and decide which way Tom will support. Again, tell me what you wanna do.
Just a point of order, Mr. Chairman, this might be moot because the time is expiring. This needs to be decided before 12/29/24. So unless we schedule a special meeting, tonight is the night to decide on this.
Your call.
I'm good.
You're good.
I told you,
You-
I don't have a real issue. But I
Okay.
would like it known
Okay,
that that soil, that particular piece of property has no issue with they drain anything going to the lake.
okay.
That, whether it be a combination of plantings and drains at certain, I don't, the drain thing bugs me, because, yeah, I got grandchildren, they trot around, I don't want them, they're nutty enough already. They don't need to be running around, catch their toe in the drain because they're flip-flopping around. If it's absolutely necessary, yeah, we'll do it. But, as Tom was saying, he said, oh, you had 4 years, haven't done anything yet,
Jeff, any comment?
more or less.
Just that the three recommendations that Tom put in the report, and I apologize, John, you didn't have a long time to review it, but when we were out on site, we talked about breaking the continuity from the walkway to the steps and the other walkway to the dock or deck, as you said. Tom on site was talking about putting a drain in there. That is no longer part of the recommendations. It's just to break that and have crushed stone up there as well, just so the water can fall off and not get into the lake. The drains are actually in the stone garden area. That's where he's calling for them now. So if you reference his markup to your survey, you'll see these items called out in red. So that's basically what he's looking to get done there, and that would satisfy him based on what the Jackson report pretended. So that's where we're left with that. And just so I could say, if Wetlands decides to approve this application, the next step would be to take all this information to ZBA.
We know that.
Because there would still need to be a variance for the impervious
I
surface.
saw that in your staff notes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so do you want to move this along, or do you want to
Oh,
chat?
absolutely.
Okay. There's something that I'd like to pretty much insist on, and when we vote on it, I'd like the commission to be aware of it and support what I'm going to suggest. The conditions of approval that Tom recommended were noted in his report of December 12th, 2024. And for the purpose of the minutes, it's page 2 probably of his report, and it says conditions of approval. 1, a bond of $1,200, that the consulting town engineer, which would be Tom or the agent, shall inspect the removal of pavers and installation of the drains and plantings. Excess soil will be moved from the area adjacent to the lake, and a final inspection will be completed by the wetlands agent. And the language of Tom's report says and/or. I'm gonna say leave the or out, so it would be both of you, Tom and yourself.
Okay. Yeah, he
Okay.
wanted to leave you the latitude if you wanted him to stay on.
No,
for
no,
a final
I
review or
just,
not.
again, upon completion of the work, I would add like number 5 and 6, the completion of the condition shall be no later than June 1st, 2025. Do you think, Mr. Sliney, that you can complete this work by June 1st?
I'm old, but I'm steady. Yeah, I'm sure I can come up with something to get it done.
Only because this has been going on for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So if I don't bring closure to it, it can go on 3 or 4 more years. All right, so you, okay, so the understanding is that the work is gonna completed by June 1st, 2025, and if the work is not completed, the violation comes back to order. Okay? All right, do we have a motion to that effect? I'll make a.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
I'll-
you've got to read.
Go ahead, I'll make a motion that we approve application number 24-27. The applicant is John Sliney, 308 East Wakefield Boulevard, and it's to redo the front of the coverage of the cottage walkway to become a pervious area. And all of the conditions that were recommended in the letter from Tom Grimaldi, our engineer, overviewing the site, dated December 12th, 2024, shall be enforced. And the 2 additional conditions of approval that I read into the approval letter shall apply. So is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Gary, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of approval? Okay, thank you very much. Have a good holiday. And June 1st,
June 1st.
okay?
Yep.
All right. The next applicant is, Benjamin Liston, and my the application number is 24-32. My understanding is Benjamin will not be here this evening. Jeff, you want to talk on his behalf?
That's correct. At the last meeting, it was discussed that if Mr. Liston could get a updated survey to us, which would accurately represent the changes that were discussed at the last meeting, that he would not have to appear because he was going to be out of town. He was able to get Wiley to complete that updated survey, and it was in your packets for your review. You'll see that the mooring ball has been removed, and the other waterfront features have been shifted into what was discussed.
Okay? Any questions or comments on this? Everybody good?
They took the ball out, is this?
He removed the ball from the application.
Right, that's
So
correct.
we know we're
Okay.
talking about the dock and the snow.
All right, okay, is there a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve IWWC 2432 for 652 East Wakefield Boulevard, permit pre-existing dock and boat lift, and a walkway to the boat lift along with a future swim platform in accordance with current regulations.
Okay, I don't think we need is there a second?
Second.
Jamie, I don't think we need a bond on this,
I don't think so.
okay? Any other concerns? All right, all those in favor of approval? All right, it's unanimous. Okay, thank you very much. The last part of old business is application 24-33. The applicant is Sarah Camp. The location is 552 East Wakefield Boulevard, and the request is to install a mooring buoy not to be used for vessel attachment, to be placed 50 feet out from the center of the easement of the property that is presently owned by Sarah Camp. Any discussion on this? Jeff?
Yeah, well, I
Go ahead, Jeff.
do wanna bring something up.
Go ahead.
It's kind of been bothering me, and I would like to see this approved because I think it's a good thing for Ms. Camp. However, in the readings that you guys have had me read over the last several years, I thought I understood it that the DEP was the only one that was allowed to approve navigational buoys.
We took this away from being navigational to just being a buoy in that last meeting. It's just a buoy out there. It doesn't have anything to say, no wake. You can't say anything on it. It's just a mooring buoy.
Okay, I'm good with that.
At 45 feet.
I want this
That's
approved, but I just
what
wanted to
took
bring
place
that up
last
there.
time.
Just,
Right.
Make
That
sure
is
I
what took
understood
place
that.
last time. Because I had the same concern. We can't regulate a navigational buoy.
That's
Does
the
a
way I understood it.
navigational buoy have a different color?
Well, you can't even, yeah.
oh, yeah, it's
We
different
can't
colors
permit.
for different things.
It's like yellow.
Right,
Yeah.
different things. But what, on the lake, are there any true navigational
No,
buoys?
not on this lake, no.
The one in Suckerbrook Cove, over that dock, over that
Maybe somebody
rock.
might have thrown
I think
something.
someone
No,
else
I'm just
Yeah.
curious for my
All right,
own
well, one
sake.
at a time, guys.
No.
Okay.
But we did,
Just wanted to bring it up, I just,
I understand, thank you.
and I,
You know, I think, I had a conversation with Jeff, and I think from our perspective as the commission, that when an application comes before the town and is submitted, that anybody puts in the language that they want to put in a buoy to impinge boats from coming in to that area or cut down on speeding, that's not within our province. So it's the kind of application we shouldn't even consider, because unless there's language that it's gonna go to DEP for approval, I think that's where we're at.
Right.
So, you know, the applicant changed that, it's gonna be there just as a buoy to identify her swimming area without limiting access inside that swimming area. Okay, we're
So,
good with that?
I have a question.
Go ahead, James.
With the last one that we just approved, we talked quite a bit about his mooring ball. And because he was going to moor a boat to it, it had to be in a little farther.
Right, yep.
Okay, I understand that the plan for this mooring ball is not to moor a boat to it.
Right.
But once it's there, how can we stop that?
Look at him.
I've made a written statement
Look at
saying
him.
that I won't do
I
that.
understand you have, but what happens when you sell the property or it goes to another person? Now that mooring ball is 50 feet out, it's an approved mooring ball, they could moor a boat to it,
I can,
because it's already approved?
So the approval is gonna have the language in it that Ms. Camp put in that she will not be tying any vessels to it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we could ask that this buoy not have an eye on the top of it, so there'd be no opportunity to tie anything off to it, but then you might be getting dangerously close to a marker, which
Yeah.
goes deep and not us. So I don't know how you wanna
Because am I right that once we approve this mooring buoy, it's approved for future owners of the property as well?
Yes, that is correct. It would have to be transferred to the new owners. but
Jamie,
that's-
Well, with the language in it that just putting in it, that you can't moor buoys on a boat on it.
Jamie, look at it this way. We approve the position of a boat lift and a dock so that it's within the property owner's right to put it there, not in the littoral boundary. If 2 years from now, the property is sold and the new owner moves it over into the littoral boundary, it's in the same violation as somebody putting a buoy
Okay.
on it. So it comes down to enforcement.
Okay, all right.
You know,
I'm
I
fine
know
with
it's a
that.
good point.
Yeah,
And just so for clarification, the application that we just approved where the applicant originally had a mooring buoy, we denied or he withdrew the mooring buoy part of the application because it would
yeah,
impede on navigation.
Yep.
That's where this one doesn't,
okay.
okay?
Can you write into the language of it that if there's a transfer of the property or sale, that the mooring buoy goes with it?
I don't know.
No, I'm just proposing that if, because that's always the thing, right? Once something's there, change of ownership, now it's there, somebody's like, oh, well,
Someone
I'll just
ties
tie
a boat to it and that boat's
That goes with
65
any
feet out
permit.
into the
I mean,
lake.
What's
you buy
that?
property, if there's an approved permit, you're buying the property with that approved permit on it already,
Yeah.
right?
So this-
Aren't you?
Yeah, no, I don't know, I'm just
Yeah.
proposing
I'm
it
just
as
saying.
a.
The
as a
new
thought.
owner would be in violation
No,
automatically.
no, but I'm just
if they
saying is
did.
when you're buying that property, if there's an approval through the town for whatever's there, you're buying that approval.
Can we permit this buoy to not allow a boat moored to it?
The language.
That's the language right in the
Yeah,
application.
with the stipulation that
So you make it a condition of the approval as well. I don't think it's gonna get recorded on the land records like a variance would, but it'll still be.
But it would be in our records.
Oh, yeah.
What would that record be if somebody bought the property? Would they see that or no, only in a different document?
So ideally, they would have any permits transferred to them, so the dock permit, the mooring ball permit.
So the
they
language would
see-
be on that?
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be part of the record.
All right, I feel better
Okay.
about that.
That's fine, I'm good.
Just sorry you have, it's the reason you have to do it because of the boaters. That's,
Right. And then they can come in for a modification if they want to do something else.
Any other concerns or questions? Matt, you good?
I'm good.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve IWWC 2433 at 552 East Wakefield Boulevard for a mooring ball not to be used for vessels to be placed 50 feet out in the center of the easement property with pre-existing / permitted dock.
Is there a second? Can I make a friendly change to that where you said the mooring ball not to be used for a vessel, that a vessel is prohibited from being attached to the mooring ball? Does that make it a little tighter?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
you good?
Yep, I'm good with
Okay,
that.
let the minutes reflect that, please. Is there a second?
I second it.
Oh, Gary did. All those in favor with the change? All right, it's unanimous.
Thank you all very much.
You're
I
welcome.
greatly appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Good holiday.
You too, thank you.
Okay. We have, no new business.
we have people here.
We have no agent determinations. We have no warnings. The violations are the ones that we've been carrying for a while. Jeff, you want to just bring us up to date on the violations very briefly?
Sure,
308 could be resolved.
Yeah, we just dealt with that. The 713, I've reached out to the property owners a few times. They supposedly have a survey. They're supposedly gonna get it to me. They also have expressed interest to buy that town property next door, which they will not be able to do if they still have a violation on the land record. So I don't know why they haven't made good yet with the survey to put this issue to bed. So that one continues to linger. 139 West Wakefield is the Michelle Babbage situation. And as I put in the report, there is a,
In February.
February, yeah, there's a meeting scheduled for February 25, a status hearing, so that's working its way through court.
Now, is that, the status hearing is internal or is it in court?
I believe it's in court.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Any questions on those issues?
No, I would just like to ask why we have residents here for the meeting.
Oh, we'll get to them.
Maybe they wanna join.
Don't scare them away,
More
Russ.
involved with my town.
Oh, okay, oh,
I'm
okay.
glad you're here.
The lake,
Good.
so-
What's that? I'm sorry.
She said she wanted to get more involved with town stuff. and
Oh,
like,
good.
and
Very good.
We
Welcome.
have openings, so.
There you go.
Welcome.
All right, under communications, the schedule we've approved. We've talked about Tom Grimaldi's report for 308 Eastwood Boulevard. Jamie, on the dock and mooring?
Yeah, so we met before the last meeting, and then we talked a little bit at the last meeting about the changes that we had put forward. I think because there was a tight window to get it to the Board of Selectmen, and we also wanted to tighten up the language around that and also easements, we decided not to put it forward to the Board of Selectmen for their December meeting. Jeff, I don't know if you had a opportunity to speak with Attorney Nelligan about the easement.
Just briefly, he was of the mind that you probably don't need additional language related to easements because you already have the power to deny applications based on the subsections.
That was
are-
in your staff notes.
Yeah. That doesn't mean he wouldn't entertain doing it if you guys saw fit.
Jamie, don't limit the committee's or the subcommittee's desire to implement a change, should you want one, and then move it forward, if, as a commission, we agree, and then let Nelligan and the selectmen react to it, you know.
I thought that we had decided last month to push this through and do the easement at another time to get this one done.
Yeah, and then with the tight timeframes, it just didn't happen.
Okay.
It was like, what,
When do you
4
think-
days?
Something like that, yeah.
When do you think you'll move it forward?
If we want to tackle the easement separately, when's the deadline for the next meeting? Do you know?
It could go to the Board of Selectmen at any time, really.
No, I know, but when's the deadline to get it
Their
submitted?
deadlines are Thursday before the Monday. They meet on Mondays.
That's the first
so-
and third Thursday, but can I ask a question?
Yes.
Last sentence. I bounced the, let's see, I bounced the broad strokes of an idea to restrict applications of this nature off the attorney who thought it was unnecessary move based on the fact that the commission has relatively broad set of conditions on which they can deny an application or I assume approve an application.
That's
So why
correct.
did we get broadbanded for Tractor Supply last year?
I was not here. I have no comment on Tractor Supply.
On the decision we made for Tractor Supply.
We
Well,
did,
we pushed it through.
we approved.
Yes, but why, yeah, we approved it. and
There
then-
was a challenge in court to the approval, and the applicant, from what I recall, agreed, because they put in a modification, it came before us again.
Right.
The
And that's when
original,
we approved it.
the original approval, we completed it. If anybody wanted to challenge the approval, they had to go to court. The applicant for Tractor Supply came back with a modification, then opened the door up. Once that door was opened, then it was our issue. And there was a second party, and there was a specific term to identify that party, intervener. And they had the same rights as the applicant, and as a result, it really became an open conversation between the applicant and the intervener, both of whom presented evidence to us.
Right.
And we sort of accepted the evidence of the applicant
Right.
as more precise and accurate, and we didn't accept the evidence of the intervener as being, I'm gonna use the word meaningful, and that's pretty broad.
Yeah.
So we overruled the intervener's challenge and approved the modification. Subsequent to that, Tractor Supply withdrew the whole application from us, and they're relocating somewhere else. So that had nothing to do with, I think, where we're at with this conversation, in
Okay,
my
all
mind.
right, okay. Thank you.
No, I recall too, we accepted everything there, seemed like a very good set of plans,
Right.
I don't.
Well, if had they not opened up and asked for a modification, we would have been finished completely, and the intervener would have been in court. Anyway, anybody else with anything? Jamie, anything? So we're gonna try to
No,
move
so,
ahead with that?
yeah, I'll break out the easement stuff and just get that onto one of the January meetings for select.
Jamie, if you'd like, I can, see if Kevin would meet with you and me and if anyone else on the subcommittee
Yeah,
to speak easement specifically.
that would be good.
Maybe
But
something
I'll
out.
move the other stuff forward
Okay.
for our next meeting. For their next
Wait,
meeting.
not to submit to the selectmen.
No, the stuff that we already talked about, submit to the selectmen. But the easement stuff,
The easement is part of the ordinance. You can't take it out and ask them to approve something.
no. All we're putting forward is the changes to the language that we had already discussed. The easement stuff will stay as it
As
is
it is.
right now,
Okay,
yes.
got it.
I'm
Okay.
not taking it out. Yeah,
Okay,
that was a
all
poor
right.
choice of words.
So
Okay.
you're gonna get that revised email to us, revised.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Try to get it to us early so we have time to have it in our packet.
Yeah,
Thank you. Jeff,
I did not call Jim.
okay.
Simply forgot.
Okay, not a big deal. That issue where they closed Wakefield Boulevard before Thanksgiving and up to Thanksgiving is resolved now, so it's moved. The property right around that location, remember where they took down trees in an attempt to remedy a neighbor's drainage problem of the road going onto Wakefield Boulevard?
At the Forest Ave intersection?
No, where they closed the road and did that road work recently on East
Okay.
Wakefield. On the off side of East Wakefield, there was a private dirt road that was draining down, and the town had property next to it. They took a lot of trees
I'm with you
down,
now,
and
yeah.
I see trees on the floor and nothing happening.
Yeah, I brought that up, with Jim a while back and we didn't really get any resolution
Revisit it,
on
please,
that.
revisit
Yeah.
it, please.
And while you're in the area, last time I reached out to the property owner of the washed out driveway's son, who was in communication with me. He was unaware of any grading that had been done there when the driveway was clearly regraded, so I don't know if he's out of the loop with his mom or what the story is, but I don't have anything good to report there either. I had sent a friendly letter there with our new driveway regulations and was trying to avoid an official action on them, but, you know, now we're almost into winter again and we didn't get anything resolved,
Well,
so.
with the winter, with the summer comes dirt and, filth on the road.
Yep.
With the winter comes water and ice and sort of like an obstacle course road that at some time, the town had to be there at, 6 o'clock in the morning to break down the ice ridges along the road.
Mhm.
So I think, that's gotta be remedied rather sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
okay? Report from Highland Lake, Jamie, anything?
nothing new. No.
Okay, okay, I can't think of anything.
What was the ongoing site visits for 137 Torrington Road?
That was the old Picasso property?
Yeah, the old Fracasso property, which has recently still been bought by Yield Development, right? Yes. We continue to stop by there once in a while to make sure that the property is in good order. It has been since the new owner has taken over. His plan is to get rid of all the materials on site and actually do a build there for like contractor buildings, which the town sorely needs. We're yelling at contractors and landscapers all the time, telling them they're doing work in places they shouldn't be, instead of like where their operations are out of, not on certain homes. But then there's nowhere to send them, so it's kind of hard to yell at them when we can't offer an alternative. So I'm looking forward to having that kind of stuff in town.
So it's like a staging area? Is that what I don't understand what you meant by that.
This will be like steel buildings
Right.
for contractors and landscapers to set their operations out of, that kind of thing.
Something like Butter Lane?
Private? Do you mean for the town or private?
No, private.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I thought you were talking about a town thing, I
No.
misunderstood. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there was a previous approval for that anyways, back when Berlinski owned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came before Wetlands.
Yeah.
Actually, Gene would have been on this commission when it went through, and it was gonna be subdivided into 7 or 8 commercial properties.
Yeah, similar idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Question, the last thing, permit posting discussion,
What, say again?
the last item there, permit posting on property. They do that on Long Island, in town of North Hempstead where I came from, you put it in the front window
Yep.
of your building, and it's there from the day you get approval, to the day it's signed off by the Department of Buildings or whoever.
Yeah,
the
and
agency is.
the guys still do that with some of the building permits, but no one seems to ever do it with a wetlands permit. And as you guys know, when you're driving around and you see some action going on there, you might not remember the address, and next thing you know, you're calling me, and maybe I'm going out to check, and, you know, so the chairman and I were just discussing that maybe this would be a way for people to easily identify when a project is on the up and up.
What are you saying, the building department or they put it, I never seen one over here.
Some of the building contractors still put it in the window. They're not forced to. It's not a town rule right now. So I brought this up just in passing with the town manager as well. So we'll see if it goes anywhere, but I just wanted to share with you guys that the chairman and I have had that discussion.
We've tried, Jeff and I have spoken about it, and, you know, if there was a permit posted somewhere visible, then when you or I would drive down, or the homeowner, a concerned citizen would drive by and see work being done, but see a permit there.
Right.
At least there's a reference
Right.
that it's legitimate work, maybe in violation, but
But at
legitimate
least you
work.
know he's,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's on where I came from, it's right, a little red thing right on your front window of
Yep.
the house. So anybody who passes, you see the date it started, the date for completion.
Yeah, Jeff,
You
like I
know.
said, Jeff is
But it's not
suggesting.
only for, I'm not only saying for wetlands,
No,
it should
that's
be for.
the-
No, for
any
everything.
permit.
Yeah,
That's
this would be
the
across the board
Right.
if it were implemented.
That's the
Sure.
direction we'd like to go in. And Jeff is working along
Oh,
those
okay.
lines.
Somewhere in the last 5 to 10 years, maybe 15, when we used to get a permit from the town, they gave you a building permit or a wetlands that had to be posted. And now, I don't know, maybe, it was, like I
Just
said,
falling off.
within the last, 10 or 15 years, they stopped doing that.
Okay.
But it had to be posted visibly from
Yeah.
the street.
What's the downside of that?
What do you mean, seeing it?
Yeah, no, I'm just putting it out there, like, to me,
We
it
did
seems
do it,
like
Winston
a
did do
great
it
thing
until,
to have.
So if
Like,
you're,
what would it, I can't imagine, like,
Maybe we can cut
downside.
through the chase. Can this commission authorize you to issue a permit for applications that approved, and part of the condition is that they post the permit?
I think we can make that part of the regular set of conditioned approval.
Okay. All right, so from now on, that's what
I'm
we'll
just
do.
saying, well, what happens is when
Yeah,
you're
no,
going
I-
by, you see this, you
Yeah.
know it's an
it's,
approved
well, my
work.
point, cause
Yeah.
that question was,
Yep.
did it stop for a reason?
Oh.
Right,
well,
essentially,
I
I'm like, I couldn't imagine a good reason for not
I
having,
don't know why.
lack of enforcement, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it seems
policies
like-
and practice, you know, that's where it fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, so from now on, anything we approve, give them a permit to ask them to post
I'm
it?
gonna, to Russ's question, I'm gonna verify with Nelligan if there
We see the
was a
beginning.
reason why this fell
Okay.
off, you know, make sure we're not
I can't see one.
opening a problem here.
I don't see why there would be, I wouldn't even ask them, I'd just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah.
You save the phone call, what's he gonna say? You can't post a permit? So, that's my opinion, because we did it for a number of years. And it, like I said, it had,
Standard practice
had,
throughout the
yeah,
country.
it would say IWWC, 24-27, right on it.
Right.
Then if
And
anybody.
you
yeah.
know it's been discussed and approved.
Okay, guys, anything else? Jeff, anything?
No.
Nope, 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 nope.
Make a motion to adjourn?
A new record time.
All those in favor? All right, before we go, on behalf of the commission, for those in the audience and who might be observing this on some kind of television show, the commission would like to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, safe holiday, and we look forward to our January meeting.
Very good.
Anybody else? We're good.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Way to end the year.
Short and sweet.
One of the shortest meetings I've ever had for next year.
There's nothing.
That's our card.
Thank you again.
record, huh? 35, 37 minutes?
You know what?